Hi, my name's Deb Powers. I'm Kirkland's urban forester. In our last video, we talked about the code as it applies to homeowners removing trees. In this video, we'll talk about why we'd want to retain trees, particularly when development occurs. The greatest challenge of urban forest management is balancing an individual's right to remove trees and develop their property with the community's vision for a green and livable Kirkland. Trying to balance both is what makes tree code so contentious. For every person who believes Kirkland's tree code is far too restrictive, there's another person who believes our ordinances don't do enough to protect our urban forest. To understand how our current tree code has worked and where we might need to improve, we completed a tree canopy analysis. We learned that the greatest amount of canopy cover loss by percentage was in the single-family residential area. Since the majority of Kirkland's tree canopy cover is in these same areas, we needed to get a better understanding of what's happening to trees when development occurs. So last summer, the city did a boots-on-the-ground field study. City staff visited over 150 single-family properties that were a result of short plats and subdivisions that occurred between 2008 and 2013. That time frame included periods of record low and high development and allowed us to look at what happens to protected trees when the 5-year maintenance agreements expired. We weren't surprised to see that prior to development, potential short plat subdivision properties had uniform ratios of small, medium, and large trees on them. That's what a healthy, resilient urban forest looks like. What's interesting is that we found that after development, 2/3 of all the trees on these properties were newly planted, and only 10% of all trees were large trees with trunks over 22 inches in diameter. While it makes sense to plant trees to ensure future canopy cover, it's important to balance planting with retaining healthy large trees. Within the context of an existing urban forest, planting a few hundred or even 1,000,000 trees does not automatically translate into an increase in canopy cover. That's because in an urban forest, the odds are stacked against young trees reaching maturity. Even when trees are able to mature, it takes about 20 years for those new trees to begin to contribute any benefits. If we want clean air and healthy watersheds and all the other numerous benefits an urban forest provides, we should do both, plant new trees and preserve the healthy, mature trees we already have. One of the proposed code changes helps define exactly what a healthy tree is so that it's easy to know which tree should be retained without having to be a tree expert. Early planning is essential for successful tree retention on development sites. Another proposed code change requires these decisions be made early in the short plat and subdivision design process, at the point when access roads and utilities are configured. In our next video, we'll take a closer look at changes to the tree code related to development. For more information on Kirkland's draft tree code amendments or how you can get involved, go to the city's website.